Good morning. I am live today. Uh, Trying to get the questions. Okay, I am live today. We're gonna try to answer some questions and pretty much just give you the latest update on immigration when it comes to DACA. We are still waiting for the final ruling on DACA. Remember that DACA, the court in Louisiana, basically. The Biden administration were arguing before this the panel of judges, federal judges in Louisiana, and we are still waiting for that because the case is still ongoing. But we had another decision in New York when it comes to DACA. New applications, still they cannot process new applications. However, people who have DACA and want to renew it, they can still renew, but new applications, whether pending at the time the decision was made, or new applicants cannot get DACA. That's where we stand currently. Okay, if you're here, say hi in the comment. We are going to be answering your questions to this morning. Latest in immigration news. You already know me. My name is Bijou Ngwanda, immigration lawyer here based in DC. We work with individuals across the country, around the world. We are dealing with complex immigration cases, and we are winning big in court or with USCIS because we are taking on complex immigration cases. Okay. So let's get right into it. We want to take questions. I'm not going to go over. Good morning, Elena Dagby. Good morning. We want to take questions. That's why we're here. So we're waiting for your questions. I know it's early, but that's when I have time to do those live sessions. I am going to answer questions. Let's start with one question that was asked. If somebody is in removal proceedings, good morning, Anike Chambers. What is your question? We are trying to take questions and answer them to the best of our ability in this limited time frame. If you have a question, just please go ahead and ask it. We are going to we are taking questions, okay? So we are taking questions. We are taking questions. So let's start with the question that was asked. I'm going to share my screen. Some questions were asked on my private Facebook group, but we don't want to reveal the identity. F3 category going to get faster any next year? No, I don't think so. You know, those F3 category and stuff like that, it just takes long. There's no legislation as far as if it's gonna get faster or anything like that. We're just waiting. Oh, it looks like my screen is moving. I don't know why. Let me wear the glasses. Maybe I don't see it well, but it looks like my screen is moving. Why my screen is moving? Looks like my screen is moving. Anyway, Alphonse Wiener, hi, how are you? Okay, looks like my screen is moving. Do you see that my screen is moving? So let's answer those questions. I have some requests. I have to take it so that people can ask the question. Anyway, so this person said, can you give me a school with low cost to get my son out from Africa? Well, I really don't think there are schools with low cost. First of all, your son, is it, are we talking about college or are we talking about a university. And if you go with university, maybe you should go to small states such as Ohio, search in Ohio, maybe Ohio, those type of states, Idaho, they might have a reasonable cost, but it's not cheap. Those universities here, they're just not cheap. Alice Kamba, how time for work permit process? What type of category, Alice? If you're talking about C9, it's taking at least 1 full year. If you're talking about asylum pending first-time applicant, it's supposed to take only 60 days, 30 days. But you know, with USCIS, you have to keep pushing them. 60 days, I'm seeing that. That's for first-time applicant for asylum pending. Renewal, it's really taking like a year. Alphonse, you good? Oh, okay. Out of status, get a sponsorship for employment visa. It depends. If you have a qualifying relative, right? Let's say you have a parent who's either lawful permanent resident or U.S. citizen, then yes, Richard Ryan Hobels, then yes. Then if you get sponsorship, it gets approved. What's gonna happen? It's a long process, right? What's gonna happen is then you file a waiver for a lawful presence, and once the waiver get granted, then you go out to get your visa from outside, consular processing. You cannot get it from inside because of that unlawful presence. So Richard Ryan Hobels. So the answer, it just depends. Whether you have a qualifying relative to claim unlawful presence on. Qualifying relative has to be either a parent or a spouse when it comes to waiving unlawful presence. If you don't have that, then really it's impossible. Yes, Alisa Kambao, sorry, Elena Dodge College. Yeah, if you want to really search for reasonable prices, go with pretty much small states like maybe Ohio, Idaho, Iowa, those type of states. You might find reasonable cost, and just go with college, maybe community colleges, reasonable cost, but cheap. Really, everything here really pretty much expensive. Yes, you can answer your questions now, so we can answer those questions right away. You know, please answer your questions now. Oh, what about the implementation USCIS created to resolve the backlog? Where are they about it? Yeah, Alfonso Winner. Well, at least they try with EB2. Remember, they tried to incorporate EB1 and EB2. They tried to incorporate premium processing for certain dates. They started implementing for people who apply, I believe, prior to June 2021 or July 2021. So they're implementing premium processing. That's a way to make it faster, which means that you pay additional fees and your application get processed within 15 calendar days. That with EB1 and EB2 premium processing has been implemented. As far as backlog is concerned with work permit, what they did, they extended the notice, the receipt notice for renewal of work permit, renewal, right, to 560 days or 40 days, 540 days. So just people can just have more time with that. But as far as really asylum is concerned, in terms of people have asylum application pending since 2014, I haven't seen anything moving so far. As far as green card processing, I haven't seen anything moving. They said we have to give them time, at least 6 months from the date they said it. They're going to implement that. But I don't know. Yeah, so the only two things, Alphonse, I saw, it's with EB1 and EB2. That's it. Okay. So I just feel like my screen is moving for some reason. I don't know if you're seeing it. Lightning, maybe. I don't know. Anyway, my husband's case is now in the embassy of Islamabad as it was expedited. Now we are waiting to the scheduled interview. Yeah. So what do you have to do really at this point is call the embassy. Yeah, you really have to keep pushing, either call or email them, try to find a way to communicate with them, because those people, they don't move until you start moving or putting pressure on them. Because if you already have a letter of interview, uh, it's just a matter of them scheduling you. So you really have to push a lot with them. Yeah, my screen is moving. I don't know what's going on. My screen is moving. I'm going to try to share the screen so I can go over some questions. Oh, my screen is good. But for some reason, I don't, Alphonse, for some reason, I don't know what's happening. I'm seeing like it's shaking. Anyway, so if it's good, that's good. We're trying to answer those questions. I'm waiting for Illinois. I did our inquiry and they responded. What is the good reason for expedited processing? Is it better that petitioner or applicant send that request? Okay, expedited processing, right? Um, oh, my screen is okay. Thank you, Balaji. They said they're in process of schedule. Oh, they say it's in process of schedule. Okay, but you need to keep calling them or pressuring them. Anyway, processing requests a good reason. They have three categories, right? Financial, humanitarian, and government interest, right? If you're claiming that it's a humanitarian, let's go with humanitarian. I'm gonna give you specifics example. When it comes to humanitarian reason, when you're talking about expedited requests, it has to be something so urgent. For example, you see we have the war in Ukraine, right? That's pretty much a humanitarian reason. You can file an expedited request based on that and say that, for example, my family is in the war zone. At this point, it's so urgent that you expedite my request so they can benefit from those immigration benefits so that they can come here. Financial reason too, it can be you can expedite based on financial reason. For example, if only one person is working and is creating hardship, you can expedite for that too. Government interest, for example, the Biden administration put in place this with Ukraine and Afghanistan, right? It is in the best interest of this government to help those individuals coming from Ukraine and Afghanistan. And if they expedite the request, then they're going to help the government, right? So sometimes if let's say you're here, husband here, and the wife is outside of the country, the wife is pregnant, and the pregnancy is so almost she's gonna almost give birth, or pretty soon she's gonna give birth, then you can say, please expedite my request so my child can be born here. Because after certain months, then the pregnant woman cannot travel. So if you expedite now, then you give her the opportunity to travel. There are many reasons that you can claim expedited requests. If you Google USCIS.gov expedited request, gives you some reasons. You call the number, you give them the reason, and sometimes they call you back uh, or email you, send you a letter with requiring additional proof. That's how it works. Okay, let's see some. Oh, I have questions here. Let's see some questions now. Christine Mandoka. Are you talking about the green card? How long it takes? Oh, it just depends. Family green cards taking at least 18 months. That's what I've seen. But it just depends on what center goes to, what date you actually request for it. So yeah, you can go under USCIS.gov or Christine Mandoka. You can go USCIS.gov, processing time. You put the form, You put the center. You can see the center on your receipt, and then you put the date you file. It's going to show you approximately how long it's going to take. Yeah, applicant, my mother, green card holder, F2B, August 13, DQ, April 2022. How many days can the interview be delayed? Well, if you already in DQ, then the interview is coming soon, right? But the problem is you really have to call them to schedule you or email them. Do some type of pressure because they're just gonna sit on your case. That's what they do. Applicant, okay. Hello, Manafa Joseph. Hello, how are you? Have pending asylum travel to St. Thomas, to Florida at the airport. Asked me if I apply for residence. By mistake, I said yes. That will be a problem. Oh, that's a problem. Monafat Joseph, we have been talking about misrepresentation or basically lying to immigration office or officials, right? So I'm pretty sure it is a mistake, right? But you have to make correction of it somehow. Let's say, for example, you can send them a letter saying that, oh, they asked me such on such and such date, they asked me such and such question. This is how mistakenly I answered that question. I believe I should have answered it differently. At least you have it on your record that you made the correction, you retracted your answer, because those people document everything. So just try to rectify that mistake. Okay, Monafat Joseph, try to rectify that mistake. Okay. Hi dear, my PD is on March 15 and documentary qualify. Do you think my interview still wait a lot? Prosecutor, PD, prosecutorial discretion. Are you talking Samuel? Are you talking about prosecutorial discretion? Or are you talking about your cases outside consular processing? Think the interview still wait a lot? What type of cases, Samuel? First of all, we have to know what type of cases is that. And then what category, right? And their scheduling too. What you can do is ask them. That's one way to know. But since 2021, they're not doing anything. Yeah, I think you've been waiting a lot. It's like a year already has passed. My F1 visa deported Chicago airport for I changed my college. I banned for 5 years now. Why I do? Okay. Med Yusuf Hamed, that violation of student visa. Of course, you have a bar for 5 years. What thing you can do is wait for the 5 years to pass and reapply, because at that point you have fulfilled your 5 years requirement outside of the country. I'm assuming that you're outside of the country, right, Ahmed? Or you can try a waiver, but you have to have a qualifying relative to try a waiver on that and see if it's going to work in order for you to reapply for a visa. If you don't have a qualifying relative, you just have to wait for 5 years to pass, then reapply for a visa. That's how it works with student violations. Qualifying relative basically has to be a child, a spouse, or a parent who is a U.S. citizen or lawful permanent resident. Because my asylum doesn't approve yet. Oh, but residency is something else. Joseph, what you applied for was asylum, okay? If you're talking about residency, maybe they're thinking you applied for green card. So just rectify it to make sure that you didn't lie to immigration officials, because those people are so complicated. Just rectify it, then you'll be at peace. Yeah, if the Islamabad embassy is not scheduling interview, it has been 8 months, usually people just pressure them. At some point, people just file lawsuits, okay? You keep pressuring them because 8 months, it's a lot, but not too much. Keep pressuring them. If it's like a year or 2 years, then maybe you should file lawsuits. Samuel Apidi, you just have to wait and keep pressuring them too. Oh, Christine Mandoka, it's moving. That's good. Oh, Facebook user, green card, F2B category. You're over 21. It's going to take a long time. I don't know when they apply for you, but anyway, it takes up to 10 years. So if you're less than 10 years, then you should wait. Green card holder, F2B, it takes a really long time. Samuel APU, I think the best solution is to call them or email them. Francie Pedro, I'm a beneficiary of VAWA, follow to join. My case was March 25th this year. You are a beneficiary of VAWA. So Francis, so basically the VAWA has already been approved, right? And then the 824 was approved in July, but so you have to do an expedited. Francis Pedro, do an expedited case based on maybe based on humanitarian or financial hardship, because you can't do it based on delay if it's not a USCIS error. If USCIS did not make a mistake, then you can't do expedited request based on the delay, because we know that processing time can take some time, right? So if you have another expedited request to do, I'll strongly suggest that you do it either based on the financial hardship of the other partner. But if you're a beneficiary of VAWA, it's on you too, on yourself, right? So financial hardship based on yourself, and humanitarian reason as well. Okay. Samuel, F family case F24. Let me double check. F24. Yeah, F24 Samuel, you are older. Okay. Unmarried child of a lawful permanent resident, and you're older than 21. So it takes really some time. If the case was already approved, right, then we can say, well, you need to pressure the embassy. But if they just file for you, those cases take at least 10 years. It takes time. Christina Mandoka, what are you talking about? Oh yeah, applying for 10-year green card. Well, the way I'm going to respond to you is this, right? You have to check on processing time based on where your case went. If you go to uscis.gov, right, and you Google processing time, okay, and you put the form I-485, and you put the center where it was, your application was sent. You can see the receipt on your receipt. You can see the application was sent somewhere. Okay. Based on that center, then you put it in the processing time. It's going to give you approximately how long it's going to take. Right now, I think the estimate is like 8 months for family-based category. 18 months. No, Manofat Joseph, you don't need an immigration lawyer for that. You just have to tell them that you made a mistake when they ask you the question. You should have said my asylum is pending, not my residency application is pending. It's a mistake. You did not understand the question correctly. So you just have to tell them. I don't know if they ask you the question like verbally, or did you write it somewhere? Did you fill an application? If it's verbally, you just have to pretty much write a letter, say on this date, the officer at CBP asked me a question. I think I misunderstood the question. Instead of saying that my asylum is pending, I said my residency is pending. So I just want to rectify it, because there is a difference between asylum pending and green card pending. So if you send it a certified mail, then you have proof that you have corrected that mistake, then you should be fine. You really don't need a lawyer for that. Because the lawyer will charge you a lot of money just to write that letter. If you have money to pay me, of course I'll write the letter, but I don't think it's necessary. I don't think it's necessary, okay? Okay, Monaf Joseph. Okay, I am under F2B category. My mother applied for me, green card holder. My DQ was more 21, still at NVC. I'm over 24. My question, how long it will take to have an interview? An interview call, I don't know. Facebook user, how long will it take for you to have an interview call? I don't know. To be honest with you, nobody knows that answer. What you can do is really try to reach out to them and say, well, my case is already here. How long will it take for me to get an interview? Usually when you're already there, it doesn't take that long. Well, Francis Keliti Pedro, if you already filed a expedited request based on the delay and it was denied, so I don't think they see it as a mistake, because expedited requests people file based on USCIS error, clear and convincing error, not delay. Delay, when they see that the delay drastically, like you say, affected your place in the interview, the only option is to sue USCIS so that the court can give you remedy. But you're not going to go out of your way to sue just because you had 9 months of delay. I don't think you're going to win that case in court. What I'm suggesting you to do instead is try another expedited request based on different reasons. I gave you one: financial reasons, or hardship reasons, or humanitarian reasons. By changing court location will help or not to get a good judge in other states. Where are you located, Facebook user? Where are you located? I believe, I defend my clients, right? I believe like Democrat states, sometimes, not all the time. I'm going to put a disclaimer, because I don't want somebody to say, oh, she said, no, 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 no. I'm saying that sometimes I think that Democrat states has better immigration lawyers than Republican states, especially the Republican states in the southern of the United States, like Texas, Georgia. Number one is Texas, right? Texas, Georgia, Ohio. Oh my gosh. Missouri. Oh Lord. Those judges over there are tough. Really, especially Texas. Especially Texas, my friend, those judges are tough. So sometimes it helps if you are in a better state, like Maryland, for example, it's immigration friendly. Sometimes you can get a better judge, but not all the time. It's just a matter of luck. Matter of fact, it was verbally, he asked me a question. Okay, they ask you a question verbally, okay? Another thing you can do is this, right? Once you apply to something else, you have to uh, say that at some point CBP asks you a question and you believe that you must have misunderstood the question and you should have answered this way and this way. Because those facts sometimes comes back to haunt people, okay? Just write them a letter and say you want to rectify the question that was asked to you. That's it. And you have proof that you said you pretty much rectify the problem. That way you have your peace of mind. Christine Mandoka, have a great day too. And thanks for joining live session. I hope to see you next time. Don't forget to, you're already my subscriber. Don't forget to share my YouTube videos with your friends or people that might benefit from it. Okay, thank you. Yeah, you're in Texas? Oh, you need to be praying. Yeah, Texas is tough. It's really tough. I have to tell you that. Amber Ken, how did you expedite the case? Yeah, expedite case, you just go to uscis.gov, expedite request. It gives you how to, it really tells you how to expedite the case. You're going to have to call a number that's listed there and provide with the reason of why you need to expedite the case. But if it's NVC, it goes differently too, right? You find the number of NVC or you do it via email. You go to, I guess, states.gov and do it. Francisqueleto Pedro, I can help you to make an expedite request. I'll charge you, of course. But the thing is, expedited request is pretty much discretionary. It might work or not work. If you already have experience doing it, maybe it's best to do it yourself so you don't waste a lot of money on that. But if you want me to handle it for you, of course I'll handle it because, you know, that's what I do, but it doesn't guarantee you the result because I did it. That's what I have to give you that explanation up front too. My son has filed I-130. I-130. Oh, I-130 takes a long time. Yeah, you just have to go on uscis.gov and look at processing time and put the receipt, the center where the form went to and put the date. It really gives you an estimate time, really. F2B category, my friends, you really have to have patience on those type of cases because those are not first preferences cases. That's why it takes too long. Just be patient. Your turn will come. Trust me, people have been waiting for those visas. Some people waited for 15 years. Your turn will come. So you can go to a different country and it's going to create just delay. And don't do that. Just wait for your time. Yeah, just wait for your time, okay? F2B, wait for your time because you can go to someone else, but it's still gonna create a delay. Just wait for your time. Your time will come. Those cases take for a long time. when you're talking about how long it will take, how long, to be honest with you, you just have to go to uscis.gov and look at processing time. And you know that USCIS has backlog. So nobody can tell you for sure it's going to take this time, this time. Really, nobody has the answer to that. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you so much for joining. At some point, I have to end this podcast, 25 minutes. Let me take the last question here. I'm U.S. citizen who filed for my... Okay, you've been... Well, about you filed for your husband. What you need to do is really submit an inquiry online if the processing time is taking longer. Usually when you go online or submit inquiry, you put the receipt number and all that. It's really going to give you whether it's processing within time or it's outside of time frame. Yeah, every case is different. Yeah, you can travel there and rectify. That's a good idea. Strongly suggest that you rectify that answer because it's going to come back and haunt you. No, you cannot translate your own document. You have to have a qualifying translator. No, you have to have a qualifying translator. You can go to non-profit organization. They can translate for you for free sometimes. I-130 spouse of a U.S. citizen. Yes, you can always call and try to expedite. It's up to them to decide whether your case meets the expedited request requirements, right? You just go to uscis.gov, expedited request. There's a number there. You call them and just say, I want to expedite my case based on those following reasons. You list your reason. So up to USCIS to expedite it or not. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. At least we try our best. We answer all your questions. Don't forget to share my videos with your friends. If you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, don't forget to subscribe so we can continuously answer your questions and help you. And if you want to hire us, don't forget to click the link in the description so you can basically I have the link on my banner, the consultation link, so you can really schedule a consultation, okay? Until next time, bye-bye.